Hey, good morning everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss Pre-Market Report for July 25th, 2016. I'm Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Here's a look at the daily time frame of the ES right now. Obviously, price continues to hold at these highs after pushing through 2120. One thing that we have finally reached is the 2172 key level. That's finally what we've reached here. If I show our drawings here, you can see that the key range from last August here, the high of that range is 2103.75. If you project 25% expansion of that range to the upside, you get the 2172. So this is a very, very important key level here to reach finally. And one that I mentioned before, if price wasn't going to retest 2120 quickly, you were likely going to see a push into 2172, and that level could provide the first fade opportunity. And so far, we've seen price kind of pull back off the 2172s here just a bit, and that could be important. But right now, very difficult to gauge how this thing's going to progress. We obviously, later on this week, Wednesday, we have the FOMC statement and Fed funds rate that comes out. So we could see a little bit of early movement this week and then kind of quiet down heading into that Wednesday report. From there, we could finally see some more activity out of this range. I've mentioned before, we're likely going to continue to drift quietly higher, and whenever we do find rejection, we could see a snap back toward 2120, but we have not seen that play out just yet, so you have to be very, very careful. This is the epitome of summer trading right now, and there's really not a whole lot to do, so sitting on your hands is an option. Here's a look at the intraday time frame. Here's the intraday time frame for the ES. Obviously, prices pushed into that 2172, a first test fade back down, and you have kind of a little bit of an impulse range here that has developed. Price basically just chopping around VWAP at the moment, and this is what I mentioned before. Nothing really to do at the moment. This could be a fade new highs, fade new lows type of morning, where if price pushes above 2172s here, that could be a fade back to value. Likewise, if price drops into 2162 or 63, it could be a fade back up short term until a bigger move arises. We could be looking at mostly sideways trading again heading into that Wednesday report, so 72s is going to be very important. Pushing through 72s and holding could push this thing higher into 2180 and perhaps 2184 half. All right, let's take a look at crude oil. Daily time frame of crude oil right now shows that prices have failed to hold above recent support here. That was the 44.40s. Price pushed through that level, making 45 resistance, and then is now pushing to new lows within the current down move. This is very, very important right here because this could open up a continuation into 42s. If you recall before, I mentioned if price can't hold 44.40, the next two key levels down below are going to be 43.03 and 42s. And basically the 43.03 comes from our key range here. So we have this impulse range that formed from here up to there. We have the midpoint here at 48.79, pushing through 45.91 implies a move into the 50% expansion, and that right there is 43.03. So that could be the next key level to test right here, especially given the fact that we've had lower highs day over day and lower lows day over day. Look for continued downtrending behavior toward 43.03 with a shot at reaching 42s. All right, pushing back above 44.40s opens up a return back to value, but right now we've got to see how this plays out. So keep an eye on 44.40s. That's the key pivot short term. On an intraday basis here, you can see that we've seen overnight selling pressure so far. Price pushed up into highs here, the highs being 44.40. 44.37, and then has trended lower the entire way since. So that's very important. Basically, we broke below major support here at 44.40, and so far we have been making it resistance. So that's something to keep in mind. It's going to continue to be resistance, but there are buy stops that are building above that zone. So just keep that in mind. At the moment, with a downtrending VWAP, any bounce likely to be a selling opportunity for a continuation toward 43s. All right, let's take a look at crude oil. Actually, let's look at gold. Here's a look at gold. One thing we've been talking about with gold was that this thing has been very choppy, and we've been attempting to be patient here with gold about pushing into 1306 to 1310. We got into 1310.70 here and saw a nice rally, but have since seen another rally fizzle, and prices are pushing back into that zone. Now, I've mentioned in the trading room that even if we do retest this area or test it proper into that 1306 to 1310, I still believe bulls want to keep this area bid. Keeping it bid rotates this thing higher toward the top of the range. Should price fail to hold 1306, that could open up a major move back toward 1243, followed by a move back toward recent support at 1208.30. So this is a very, very significant key level. Whether it holds or not, I believe it's still going to offer a significant move. So holding rotates it back up, failing to hold it rotates this thing back across the range. So this is a significant pivot to continue to watch. Let's take a look at the NQ now. Here's the NQ continuing to trend higher, quietly higher, very, very bullish move. We've already seen a 100% move of this short-term key range. We'll go ahead and delete that. But you can see 45.50 was a very important level. This is the level that they held after the push through that zone. I mentioned if it failed to hold, we could see a rotation, but it never did. Never came back below it. Instead, just continued to quietly hold at highs and push higher nonetheless here. So a very nice solid move to the upside. One thing we talked about before was that if price is going to hold above 45.50, then the next zone above is going to be recent highs right in this area, and that's going to be the 47.30s, 47.35, that area. So we could be looking at more strength into that zone before we begin to see some sort of weakness. Again, we have the FOMC coming out later on this week, so we could see a little bit of early activity this week, followed by a lot of quiet activity. And then once FOMC comes out, we could see the next key move develop. But short term, I'd be watching this area right here. Short term, that's the zone to watch, and that's 46.26. That's where you have the midpoint of the squeeze day. Right here, you have the recent high right there, and now you have 2 days of strength off of that zone. So that's the key pivot to watch right now, is the 46.26s. Failure to hold that level could rotate things back downward, but pushing back into it could provide a nice buying opportunity for bulls, at least short term. On an intraday basis, looking at that level here, so bringing it up, you can see right here, this is the zone, 46.30, 46.25. That's the zone where after pushing through resistance, they came back and made this area support. So that's a very important level. One thing you'll notice right now in overnight trading is that price tried to push through recent highs and has been rejected and is now trading just below it. So if there's a rejection and an inability to see push through 46.65, that could imply a retest back toward 46.25 to 46.30. This would be an area for bulls to defend. Failure to hold this level rotates price all the way back toward 45.90. All right, let's take a look just really briefly at the super intraday portion here. As I mentioned with the ES, this could be a fade new highs, fade new lows type of day early on. So if price pushes up into this area, that could be a fade opportunity back down. Likewise, any push into this zone could fade things back up, at least short term. So keep an eye on this range as we head into the rest of the day. 46.64.5 is the previous session's high. So far it's been rejected. So again, even if price pushes above that zone, if it fails to hold, that could open up a rotation much, much lower back to the previous session's low, which again is at 46.28.5. All right, that's it for now. Let's see how this thing plays out heading into the new week of trading. Good luck and trade well. Happy Monday.